Hello everyone, this is Dr. Hashem Abu Serhan. I am today presenting a lecture about how to write case reports, a complete guide from A to Z to help all clinicians and ophthalmologists write their case reports, interesting case reports, and publish them. So this is one of the most popular case reports in the history, was published in Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report Journal in 1981. Reporting the appearance of Kaposi sarcoma and pneumocystis pneumonia in homosexual men in New York City and California. And this paper was one of the central dogma papers which shed light on the discovery of HIV. So this paper give you an indicator about the importance of case reports in the literature. I have no financial conflicts of interest to disclose in this presentation. So let's start. Have you ever treated patients with rare or unusual findings, rare or unusual presentation, rare or unusual complication, rare or unusual management, rare or unusual outcome? If so, this is our topic today. So before starting, I will just provide you a basics about the paper. Always before publishing, the paper will be named as manuscript or a draft, and after publishing it will be named as article, paper, or publication. And to identify this paper, we have a special number named as Digital Object Identification, DOI, which help you in identifying these papers after publication. And this DOI, you can use it for website to have open access, full text, PDF, full text for any closed access papers, using it on Sci-Hub website, which was developed by Alexandra Albekian in 2011 at Kazakhstan. She developed this website to help in free sharing knowledge between physicians and clinicians. So for any paper you will have DOI, and you can use it for this website to have the full text of the paper. You copy the DOI and then paste it here, and then you will click open in the Sci-Hub website, and it will bring for you the full text of the paper. Or you can use your Access, University Access, to have the full text of any article. This article will help you in writing the case reports. Always, always, always you need to check the literature. This is one of the first steps. Don't write case report that already published, many cases already published in the literature. Always check the validity of your case report on PubMed, for example. You will open PubMed and just type the title of the disease you are managing and see if there are many cases in the literature. So no need to write this case report and lose your time, waste your time. So just always before writing, check the literature to avoid wasting time. When you search on these databases like PubMed or Scopus or Web of Science or other databases, you need to know how to deal with Boolean operators. We have something called Boolean operators. The three mainly are three and, or, not. If you want to search, for example, about genetics and cloning together, you will use genetics term and the cloning term between and. Okay, so all the studies that will come after the search on the website, it will include both genetics and cloning in the same study. Okay, however, if you want to include all papers talking about genetics and all papers talking about cloning and all papers talking about genetics and cloning, you will use the Boolean operator or. So you'll have all the studies talking about genetics, all the studies talking about cloning, and all the studies talking about both. However, and it will show you only the studies that talking about genetics and cloning at the same time. It will not show you the studies talking about only genetics or study talking about cloning. Not, which is least common used Boolean operators. If you want to exclude these type of studies talking about cloning, you will use genetics, not cloning. So the database will show you only studies talking about cloning, and it will exclude directly the studies talking about cloning. Okay? For example, you want to search about diabetic retinopathy, but you want to exclude diabetic macular edema. You will use diabetic retinopathy, not diabetic macular edema, like that. It will show you only studies talking about diabetic retinopathy, and it will exclude for you diabetic macular edema studies. Always, before using the databases, before searching these databases, you need to understand niche terms, which are synonyms, similar words of the disease that you are searching about. For example, glaucoma, we have also ocular hypertension. For example, hydroxychloroquine toxicity could be hydroxychloroquine retinopathy, could be hydroxychloroquine macular toxicity, could be black quinine retinopathy, uh, and like that. So you need to know all the similar words to broaden your search, because if you don't do that, your search will be very limited. Okay, always how to know the mesh terms, you will just type on Google PubMed mesh, then this website will appear to you. Here you will type the name of the disease, for example glaucoma, and you will search. Mesh terms will appear, and you will just copy them and use them in your search strategy. What if you find many similar cases after doing this mesh terms and after searching these databases? What if you find many similar cases similar to your case report? You can use a trick, which is the literature review trick, to increase the chances of acceptance of your paper. For example, this paper is talking about fracture of epidural catheter tip during epidural anesthesia. It was already published in Medicine Journal. When we search the databases, we find about 9 to 10 case reports with similar event. So if you want your study to be published, you need to review all these studies and make a table of them, and you will name your case report a case report and literature review. And this literature review will help you in getting acceptance in the journals. Also, you will make a differences, you will highlight the differences between your case and between the already published cases in the literature. For example, this table, you will make a similar table to this with the report, the name of the study, age, gender, and the outcomes you need with the treatment and follow-up period. And then you will make a difference, you will write the differences between your study and these studies, which this literature review will help you in better decision in the journals. Always, if you want to publish a case report, you need to take an informed written consent from the patient. And if you want to know the template of this consent, you just Google it, right? Informed written consent on Google. It will show you many templates for these case reports consent, and you will just change it and modify it according to your study and your institution. For example, this will write here the name of the case report, the principal investigator, and explanation, informed consent about that you will keep this information confidential and will treat them as anonymous, and if anything will be protected by law and like that. So this consent should be signed by the patient, and many journals will ask about this informed consent during submission process. So don't forget that, please. Then if you, after taking an informed consent, you need to follow this checklist, care checklist, which was published 2013, Many journals now are following this checklist in writing the case report. You will download this care checklist. Just type it on Google, care checklist 2013, and it will appear to you. This is the checklist. You need to write the title, and here you will report the line of the title of your case report. You will write case reports, then here you will report the number of the line of where the case reports in your article, here abstract, then you need to write the introduction, then you need write the clinical presentation, then discussion, then the patient perspective, and then informed consent. If you follow these checklist, your chances for publication will be much higher. And also, after filling the lines of these items on care checklist, also you will upload this document as a supplementary file during the submission process to the journals. Always, as a general rule, mimic good articles. If you are beginner researcher, you need to mimic very good articles, especially what published in prestigious journals. For example, in ophthalmology, we have the American Academy of Ophthalmology journals. You will just open their website and see the articles in press and past issues, and see the case reports published there, and try to mimic their way of writing. This will help you to improve the content, scientific content, and the way of writing and the format of your case reports, so you are getting higher chances of acceptance. Also, you can use this website to rephrase your sentences, which is named QuillBot. Using artificial intelligence, it will paraphrase the sentences you are using. For example, you copy a sentence from already published case report and you want to rephrase this sentence. Just use this artificial intelligence website, QuillBot, and it will help you in paraphrasing this sentence. Always don't depend on this website fully. Just take general highlight, and then you can manage the sentence and organize it and paraphrase it better. Okay, always you can take just the help of this QuillBot to give you an idea about how you will paraphrase this sentence or statement. So we'll start now in detail about the reports format using this care checklist. Okay, first page, it should be always of your reports, it should be the title page. It's named as title page. It will include the article title, and the article title should be very clear, short, there is no abbreviation, and always followed by a case report. Okay, this is a mandatory by care checklist. Okay, then you will add the author information, their names and their affiliation and their emails and their ORCIDs. ORCIDs is a number, researcher number. You can have a number on ORCID. It's a website for researchers, a free website. Just sign an account there, register your account, then you will have a number. You can add it in this title page. Okay, then you will mention the support sources of support. If anyone or any institution fund you, if you want to acknowledge anyone or any institution, you need to add these sources of support on the title page. Then you need to add the number of words counts of the whole manuscript. And then you will add the keywords, and these keywords should be very clear and followed, no abbreviations, and there should be 3 to 5. Or most of the journals ask for 3 to 5 keywords, and these keywords should be related to your topic of interest. For example, if you are talking about visual field in glaucoma, you will use, for example, visual field, glaucoma, ocular hypertension. These are keywords to use, and these keywords will help your articles to be discovered easily by researchers after publication. and add also the number of tables and figures in your case reports. This is the first page, title page, and should include all these items. After that, you will add the abstract. And the abstract is a summary of the whole manuscript of the case report you are writing, okay? And this abstract should not include any reference, okay? And always, usually, the last thing to be written, because it's like a summary for all case reports, from introduction, case presentation, and conclusion, okay? And this abstract usually can be structured or non-structured. Structured mean you will have purpose, clinical or introduction or background, here clinical presentation, then conclusion. However, non-structured, you will not have these headings. Directly we will write where we are reporting a case report to 29-year-old female, like that, presenting like that, okay? However, structure should be structured by 3 headings, and these 3 headings differ from journal to journal, so always follow each journal instructions. For example, most of the journals ask for introduction, a general brief about what is the unique of your case, then the case presentation. You will present the main symptoms, clinical findings, and intervention and outcomes in your case. Then you will write the conclusion, which is the main takeaway lesson from your case. These 3 points heading considered as a structured abstract. However, non-structured abstract will write directly, we are presenting a 39-year-old female, like that, okay? How to know if the journal asking for structured or non-structured? Just open the website of the journal you are submitting to and see the instructions for authors. They will write for you that we are requesting or asking for a structured abstract or non-structured abstract. Also, each journal have specific requirements for the word count. Most journals are asking for less than 250 words, but some journals they can make it, they ask for more than 250 words, and some journals they ask less than 100. I like that. So if you want to know the words count required for the abstract, you should also see the journal instructions in the website. This is, for example, BMJ Ophthalmology, the British Journal of Ophthalmology. If you open their website, you will see that for short report, which is the case report, they are asking for unstructured abstract and up to 100 words. Okay? So always see the instruction of the authors in the journal you are submitting to. And also they ask for only 10 references, only 3 tables and figures, and like that. So before finalizing your manuscript, always open the website of the journal you are submitting to and read these journal instructions. Then after the abstract, you will start with introduction. For the introduction, case report should be always brief. Don't write 1-2 pages just introduction. Just be specific, be clear, be concise. And only you need 1 or 2 paragraphs summarizing the current evidence and why you are writing this case report, why you are publishing this report, what is the uniqueness and the additional value of your case, okay? And this introduction should always include references, 3 references, 1 to 2, 1, 2 or 3 or 4 references, like that, okay? But always be short, be brief, be clear, be specific to the topic, okay? Don't write very long introduction, because many journals, they will limit the number of the words for case reports, okay? Then you will start by writing the case presentation. So you will head your next heading will be case presentation or case report. Okay? You will start always by talking about the patient information. Always de-identify any patient specific information. You will talk here about the patient general baseline characteristics, for example, the age, the gender, okay, what is the main complaint, what is the past medical history, what is the past ophthalmic history, what is the past surgical history, okay, any relevant interventions or outcomes like that. After that, you will talk about the clinical findings and their timeline. You will describe the clinical findings. For example, the patient firstly on the first complained of floaters, followed by flashes of light. On day 3, he complained loss of vision completely. Okay, you should always report that as a timeline. Okay, always write the case as a story. Anyone will read this case will be enjoying reading this case, okay, as a story treated. Then you will write about the diagnostic assessment. Any diagnostic test done, like OCTs or laboratory testing or imaging, like MRI or something. And if there is any challenging happened during the diagnostic assessment, for example, financial or cultural challenges, you need to report that because this is required by care checklist. After that, you will report the prognosis if there is if it's applicable. Okay, if not applicable, no need to report the prognosis. For example, prognosis is important in oncology, like staging and grading. Okay, then you will report your intervention. What types of intervention done to this patient, pharmacological or surgical, and if you give him or give her or give them any medical intervention, you should report the dose and the duration. And if there is any change in the intervention, you should report that with a clear rationale why you change this intervention. Okay, for example, the patient is not responding to this treatment, so you need to change into another line. Okay, after that, you need always to report the follow-up period and outcomes. What was the final best corrected vision for the patient? This is the main outcome. Okay, how was the follow-up period and the test done during the follow-up, and always report any adverse events happen to the patient. Okay, after that, you finished the case presentation. So you will write the case presentation as a story, and always de-identify the patient personal information. Don't report the name of the patient. Don't report the nationality, but you need to report the race or the ethnicity of the patient, but don't report the place where the patient came. For example, to Jordan or Qatar or USA or any country. No need to report that. Just keep it de-identified completely. Okay. Then you will move to the central dogma that will help your paper be accepted in very good journals, which is the discussion. This discussion, you should discuss your case very clearly with comparison to the medical literature. For example, if any already published case report about similar topic, you will see your outcome and their outcome and compare why this happened to you and why outcomes are differ from your case report to their case report. Okay, and always in the discussion start with like that. You will start first sentence about the main goal of your study. For example, we are presenting this case report to, then you will complete. Okay, always the main goal of your study. This is the first sentence of the discussion. The second sentence will be the main conclusion, the main takeaway lesson of your case report. Okay, for example, our case report highlight that, etc., etc., etc. Okay, this is the second sentence. This is very short paragraph at the beginning of the discussion. Okay, after that you will compare your results. You will compare your case report to already published case reports, and you will make a difference. And this is the trick what we said about before, the literature review trick. You will add a table in the end summarizing all cases published about this topic. Okay, you will discuss here the difference between your case report and already published case reports. Okay, and always if you make a conclusion, you should always explain this. You should provide hypothesis. You should provide a, a proposed mechanism why this happened. Always try to explain everything. This will help you a lot, okay, to improve the scientific content of your case report. After that, don't forget that you need to report, mention in a small paragraph the main strengths and limitations of your study. For example, one of the main limitations of case report that they are in general weak evidence type of study. Render, they prevent from generalization, okay, to other findings because it's only 1 to 2 patients like that. So always mention the strength of your study. After that, followed by the limitations, then recommendation for future study. We recommend, for example, larger scale studies like randomized clinical trials about this topic. Okay, always report the strength followed by limitations. The limitation. If you follow this format in the discussion, your discussion will be 10 out of 10. Okay, most of the reviewers will be happy about your discussion and they will not make major comments about your discussion. Okay, and it will help you a lot in getting acceptance decision in highly prestigious journals. After that, you will write a small conclusion, brief conclusion, the primary takeaway lesson of your case report without any references, just in one paragraph, 1 to 2 sentences like that, okay, to conclude your study. So this is the reports format in general. However, always there are, after the conclusion, should be references, and the number of references depend on the journal. Some journals limited to 10 references, some journal limited to 15 references. So always target your journal, read their instructions, and follow that during writing your case report. For the style and format, also each journal has a specific style. We have Harvard style, Vancouver style, ABA style, and like that, many other styles. You can modify the style of the reference manually using a website. For example, just search on Google manual reference manager. You will have this website, for example, and it will help you in citing the studies, but manually. The better way and the preferred way for dealing with references always with a software reference manager in Note or Mendeley. And how to use these softwares, you need to watch any YouTube video about Mendeley. Mendeley, for example, is a free software reference manager. However, in Note you need to pay for that, and in Note has many advantages over Mendeley. In general, this is not our main topic today. Maybe in the future I will make a video about how to deal with references using software reference manager softwares. Okay. These references, as we said, could be limited to 10 references or like that, depending on the instructions. Always avoid citing articles from pseudo journals. Never ever cite any pseudo journals, and we'll talk about that. Okay, and if you want to cite any paper, accepted paper, but not yet published, you can cite that, but always add between practices in press or forthcoming, indicating that this paper is accepted, however, not yet published. Okay. After the references, you can add supplementary materials. These supplementary materials to avoid interruption of your data flow. As we said previously, you need to write your case report as a story. So any technical details or supplementary material can interrupt this data flow. You can add it in the end as an appendix. And this appendix include the care checklist that we talked about previously, informed consent if requested by the journals. And it can include also tables and figures. Okay? And you will submit that during the submission process to the journals as a supplementary material. If you want to add tables or figures to your case report, the figures should be high resolution. Some journals will reject your case report only because the images or figures you submitted are low resolution images. So always please choose high resolution images, and you can change the resolution of any image online using websites that increase the contrast, increase the enhance and improve the quality and resolution of the image. Okay, and always don't use cross tabs like this, tables cross tabs like this table. This is indicate that you are not professional in research and not a professional in writing case report. You can change the design of this table from going to the table design. You will just select this table, then go to the table design, then remove these cross tabs. Okay, very simple, and indicate that you are professional in research and professional in writing the case report. Because some reviewers, once they see this cross tab tables, they will reject the case report, and I see that, and I have experience with that. Okay, after references, if you add any table or any figure, you should add table and figure legends or captions. Okay, for example, this table talking about the best corrected visual acuity after retinal detachment. For example, you will add at the end table 1 like that, then the title, best corrected visual acuity following retinal detachment, then full stop. Okay, this is a table caption. Okay, you should always add table captions or figure legends after the references in the end. Okay, at the end after the references. During your writing the case report, you should avoid some terms because they have specific meaning in research. For example, significant. Don't use the term significant for indicating an important topic because it's usually indicate a statistical significance. If you mention that this information is significant, anyone reading this uh, sentence can think that you are talking about statistical significance, about p-values and like that. So always use other terms for describing important issue. Okay, and don't use impactful. You can use the impact of. For example, impactful should be avoided during writing your case report. Also, qualitative, don't use qualitative only for studies following qualitative, very strong qualitative methods. Okay, and also don't use the words providers because it is general term. Be always specific and clear. For example, consider clinicians. Okay, or physicians like that, and try to avoid learners. You should be specific. Residents, students, faculty, and like that. Don't use general term like learners. Okay, and if you are describing something appraised, if you want to refer to people, use the word assessment, and if you want to refer to programs, use the assessment evaluation. These are uh, common mistakes happen during writing the case report that I just want to highlight them to help you in writing the case report. There are many other terms, but these are the most important, the most common mistakes happen during writing. Okay, after finishing writing your case report, you should check the plagiarism. how much is the text similarity, how much the text similarity is. Okay, very common mistake. If you copy sentences from already published papers and you just copy them like that without any paraphrasing or modifying or addition, the rate of this text similarity will be very high, and most probably 99% your paper will be rejected because you are stealing from others' work. Okay, so always paraphrase, always edit, always modify, always organize, and always cite the information. If you take any information from already published papers, cite that. Okay, the rate of text similarity acceptable is less than 15%. Okay, any similarity, text similarity above 25% always is a major red flag for the journal that your paper will be rejected directly by the editor, because all journals, most of the journals have softwares like Turnitin software that they will run your manuscript before sending your paper to the review process, and if they find that your text similarity is very high, they will reject it directly before sending to review. Okay, you can use any software for plagiarism, for example Turnitin or Plagiarism Checker X. This Turnitin need institutional access, and this Plagiarism Checker X is a free website. Just Google Plagiarism Checker X, then you will download it for free, and you can use this software to know where is the text similarity, and then you will change that. For example, this is a Plagiarism Checker X website or software. Here you can upload your document after finishing your writing the case report, convert it to PDF, then upload your document here. After uploading, for example, it will report the percentage for you. For example, in this text, 15% similarity was found, about 298 words plagiarized. So it's about low plagiarism rate detection. However, you can improve that, optional improvement. Okay, and these sentences will be highlighted. These highlight sentences, these are the copied text from other papers. Okay, after checking the text similarity using softwares like Plagiarism Checker, you need always revise and revise your draft. Take the help of your colleagues and mentors. Don't submit directly to journals. Anyone can give you an idea to improve the content of your paper. Okay, always revise and revise and revise, and take the benefit of other minds. Okay, this is very important, very important. You can reach up to 10 revision round. Okay, all of this will help in getting acceptance directly without rejections, and it will save time and it will improve the content of your paper. After finishing your case report, now we reach to journals. In general, I will give you an idea about the journals. We have two types of journal: indexed journal and non-indexed journal. Okay, these indexed journal are indexed by publishers, databases like PubMed, Scopus, Elsevier, Web of Science, and others. Always submit to indexed journal. Okay, and there is always for each journal index number. Okay, like ISSN. Don't submit to non-indexed journals. We'll talk about pseudo journals in a minute. We have open access, subscribed, and mixed journals. For example, open access journals are fully open access. When you submit your paper to them, they will publish your paper fully open access. Anyone can read your paper, anyone can download your paper, anyone can use your paper. Okay, however, these journals are you need to pay for them, article processing charges, APCs. Okay, and these charges differ from journal to journal, about 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 US dollars. Okay, so the benefit of getting open access paper, this will help increase the visibility of your paper, increase the reading rates between researchers, and it will increase the citations rate for your paper. However, if you don't want to pay these charges, submit your paper to subscribe or mixed journal. Subscribe means that this journal will publish your case report as a closed access. Nobody can download the paper of the full text of your paper. They just can read the abstract and title of your paper. Okay. However, any institutional agreement, you can use an institutional agreement to download the full text of these papers. But the main benefit that you don't need to pay any charges for these journals. They will publish it for you for free. Okay. Or mixed journals. These mixed journals, they have two options for you, that you can open it, publish it as open access or publish it as subscribe. We have a site score. We have a score to assess these journals, impact factor or site score, and mainly depend on the number of publications per year. Okay, for example, good journals will have higher impact factor and higher site score. It's a way to help researchers and any to help researchers to evaluate this journal. Is this journal good or not? Okay. Q1 journals are the best. Okay. Q4 journals are the least. Okay. Quality journals. This score depends on the number of publications and the number of citations per year. For example, they publish 1,000 paper per 4 years, and they have been cited by other researchers and other papers. For example, 4,000. Okay, they will divide the number of the citations, 4,000, on the number of publication. So the impact factor will be 4, like that. Okay. Impact factor and site score is similar, but impact factor talking about 4 years duration and site score talking about 2 years duration. For example, a journal publishing the number of publications in this journal and number of citations during 4 years, and site score during 2 years. Okay. The best journals are Q1, followed by Q2, followed by Q3, followed by Q4. They divide the journals into 4 quartiles. Okay, Q mean quartile index. So the best are Q1, which are in the best quartile, the first quartile, and the least are the Q4 journals, which means they are in the least quartile. Okay, how to know this site score or Q index? Just open this website, SciMago, SCIMAGO, and then search about the journal you want to look for, and then you will see like this figure if it's Q1 or Q2 or Q3. Okay, the best quartile always Q1. How to choose a journal? Many people, they ask me about how to choose a journal. You have 3 ways to choose a journal. First one is by experience. If you are experienced surgeon, experienced researcher, you will know the journals, and you can know the main scope of the journal, so you can easily know how to choose a journal for your paper. Second thing, by friends. For example, you know, a close friend that he is or she is active in research, just ask him here directly what is a suitable journal for this case report, and he will help you. Okay, or she will help you in finding this journal. Third thing, if you don't have experience and you don't know friends highly active in research, you can use Journal Finder. Just Google this website, Journal Finder Elsevier. Okay, here you will find this website. You will enter here the paper, the title of your paper, and here you will enter the abstract of your paper. Then you will click on this option, find journals, and it will show you that your paper is highly suitable for this journal in 98% and like that. So it will help you a lot in choosing journals if you don't have experience or friends to help you in that. Okay, always just Google journal finder Elsevier, and you can Google journal finder Willy, belong to Willy publisher. Okay, after that you need to submit your paper after choosing a journal. For example, let's say that you choose the American Academy of Ophthalmology. Here you will go to this option, okay, submit article, and before that read the instructions for authors, because you need to follow their instructions before submission. The instruction, the number of the words, the number of the tables and figures, the number of references, the type of the abstract, structured or non-structured. So always, before submit your paper, always follow the instructions of the journal you are submitting to. Okay, then you will click this option, submit an article. It will open for you the editorial manager website, and you will just make an account, register an account, and upload the documents and start the submission process. As we said, always follow each journal instruction. So now we'll finalize our lecture today talking about this predatory pseudo journals. There are type of journals which are pseudo journals, which mean they publish pseudoscience. They are predatory. The main theme of these journals that they accept and publish almost all submission, and they have publication fees before acceptance. They will say to you, please pay $100, then we will publish your paper. There is no journal on this planet ask for money before acceptance, unless predatory journals. So if you have an email, if you receive an email from a journal sending that if you submit your paper you need to pay $100, then we will publish it, know that this journal is predatory directly. Okay, these journals are not indexed, and they are not official journals. Okay, how to predict these journals? A clue to discover them. If you are beginner researcher, they will always send an email for you. Okay, sending email for you is as a beginner researcher is an indicator that this journal is predatory pseudo journals. They have very fast publishing and reviewing. They will tell you that we will publish your articles within 5 days. This is impossible in the research world. Always, any paper take at least 3 to 4 months to be published and accepted, because need to be reviewed, and this review process will take time, 1 month, 2 months, like that. Okay, and there is always in the email no clear affiliation. You can also know that by checking the ISSN, the number of indexing. Just you will check on Google the number of ISSN. If you don't find it, so this journal is predatory. Always you can check Bell's list. Dr. Bells is an American librarian who made a very long list naming all these predatory journals. However, this list is incomplete, but you can depend on that. Just search this list for this journal, and you can, if you find it, it's a predatory pseudo journal. Okay, Also, we have another list, CAPEL list, okay, CAPEL international list, and it include more than 12,000 journal. And also, it's incomplete, okay, but always check these two lists. It will help you to figure out if this journal is predatory or pseudo journal, okay. This is Dr. Pills. What are the disadvantages, the drawbacks of publishing in predatory journals? You will lose fees because they will make you to pay before even the acceptance, okay? And you will lose your career because your name in research field will be lost because you don't know the basics of journals, that this predatory or pseudo journal. You should know that, okay? And also you will lose your paper and your work if you expend more than 9 months or 1 year on your paper. After that, you publish it in a pseudo journals or a predatory journals. So, what it's a main drawback. Don't please publish in predatory journals. Credible journals always they have peer review process, revisions and rejections, okay? And predatory journals they will say to you, we adore your research from the beginning, okay? You will lose your fees, your careers, your paper and your time if you publish with these predatory journals, okay? And always as a big uh, headline, no journal in the world will ask for money before acceptance, okay? This is an example of the predatory journals. And one of my mentors said to me that if you receive an email from a journal telling you that publish your paper with us, if you are a beginner researcher, okay, no, be trustful that this journal is 100% predatory journal. Unless you are Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci is the director of National Institute of Health in USA with H-index more than 230, very huge H-index, which is an index to measure the research level and quality of researchers. Okay, if you are Anthony Fauci, so you can expect to receive an invitation from journals to publish with credible journals. Otherwise, if you are a beginner researcher and you receive an email from any journal saying that please publish your article with us, be confident that this journal is 100% predatory or pseudo journals. Okay? And this is the ISSN number that we talked about previously. Use journals always index in PubMed and Scopus. Just copy the ISSN of the journal and enter it here. And if you find the journal, you will be more confident that this journal is credible journal. If you don't finding, most probably this journal is predatory. As a final talk about our manuscript submission, always when you want to submit uh, your paper, you should write a cover letter for the journal editorial team, okay, about your case report and your interest of submission to their journal, okay. And if you want to know how the template is, just Google it, cover letter examples for journals. You will find many templates. Just take one and modify it, edit it depending on your study, okay. For example, this case cover letter, here you will write and the editor name and the journal name and the date of submission, okay. And here you will report, dear editor, that we please find our manuscript titled which we would like to be considered for publication in your journal, okay. And here you will report that the authors declare that they have no conflict of interest, and if you feel that the manuscript is appropriate for your journal, we would like to recommend the following researcher as a potential for this paper. Okay, always write a cover letter for your case report during the submission, and upload this cover letter during the submission, okay, in the option of cover letters. Keep in mind, this is final conclusion, author should not submit the same manuscript in the same or different languages simultaneously to more than one journal. Please submit your paper to only one journal. This is unethical if you send your paper to more than one journal, for example, 2 journals. This considered is unethical, okay? Always submit your paper to one journal at each time. If you get rejection from the journal, the first journal, then you can submit it to another journal, okay? And always document everything, and connect and communicate with other researchers in your team using the email to save your right during this case report, okay? And to prove your authorship, okay, if anything conflict or challenges happen after submission, okay? And that's it. Thank you all. I hope you find this lecture is fruitful and useful for you. I hope that I covered all things that you need for writing your case report, and see